Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Two Shepherds blending trial. Tonight, what we've been doing is working on our 2011 White Rhone blend. Uh, we make in the winery 4 different White Rhone varietals: Roussanne, Marsanne, Grenache Blanc, and Viognier. Our goal every year in white wine program, one is to produce a Grenache Blanc as a single variety, which has really become our leading program. And then on top of that, we're a huge believer in blends, so to produce some combination of our production into the very best white blend that we can. And then from there, if we have other things that we would like to do, like last year we had a small release of Viognier by itself, we will consider that as well. Our goal always is making the very best wine that we can. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about a blending trial, in case I don't think everyone is very familiar with the process. What you do is you pull samples from the tank and the barrel. The white wines are very close to being done. Really could be for the most part bottled quite soon, and we will actually start bottling very shortly in the Grenache Blanc case. But we pull samples. Because we were able to increase our production this year, one of the things you get to do as a winemaker as you have more wine is start to play around with variations of lots. So for example, besides those 4 varieties, in our Grenache Blanc, we have one sample of Grenache Blanc that's fermented in barrel and still aged in barrel. We have another one that came out of barrel after fermentation a little bit earlier and went into stainless steel. Similar with our Viognier, we have one that's fermented and aged in barrel. We have one that is completely, our only wine this year, that's completely tank fermented and aged. And each of these wines, so what you do before you start blending is you taste through each individual one. And even before coming here, we might taste through individual barrels. Out of 5 barrels of Grenache Blanc, each one will taste a little bit different. Identify the properties in each variety that you are going to be putting to the blend, because it's very much like your painter's palette. And then you start to work on some combinations. Typically, you have some idea at a high level conceptually what you're trying to achieve, at least flavor profile wise. And if you've been working with these wines for a while, you generally have some direction, but there's a lot of fine tuning to do when you do that. In an ideal world, which is the first blend we started out, you would have nothing left over. You would have, whether it's equal parts or however much you have, and that's certainly the blend we started out with. And that was a mix again of 2 parts Roussanne, 2 parts Marsanne, 1 part Viognier, and 1 part Grenache Blanc. So we tasted through the profiles and did that. We liked the wine. It had some things that aromatically were great and some flavor profile, especially in the mid palate. But it was a little bitter on the finish and a few things that we weren't as crazy about. So after some more tweaking, we ended up with some more adjusting of the percentages. Our final blend profile of the night is actually close to a traditional white Rhone blend. That would be Roussanne based. What we ended up with was 43% Roussanne, 25% Marsanne, 22% Viognier, and 10% Grenache Blanc. So it's still a heavily Roussanne based, which is what we want in a white blend for the density and viscosity that Roussanne brings to the table, but adding in the brightness of the Grenache Blanc, the florality of the Viognier, and some of the mid palate, and also some of the texture of the Marsanne. So we're very excited to finish this process over the next couple of weeks, and then bring out to the world the best that we can of 2011. Very excited in tasting these wines. We had a lot of success and positive feedback for the 2010 releases. I think all of these components this year are better, and that certainly is always our goal as a wine producer, is to every year make not only the best wine that we can, but a better wine than the year before if that's possible. 2011 was a very difficult vintage. Many say some of the most difficult in 30 years. Despite all that, we feel fortunate that the wines have come out wonderful, and we're looking forward to sharing these with you very soon in bottle. Thanks and cheers.